All right, yo. So here we are here again for another one of our hip hop community conversations. I've talked to people all around the world. We did a global meeting with about 8 different countries on the Zoom. I started off with my ministers, talked to people in LA, and now today we are back here in the A. And I'm talking to a young artist that I met a while back and got reintroduced to at the Saw Rock show. We're going to get into all that. But before we go any further, let me introduce Miss Nesha Nycee. Peace, Queen. How are you?
Yes, King. Blessings, blessings. Thank you so much for having me on the platform. I'm always grateful just to connect with you, to soak up your wisdom. It's always an honor. Always.
Good thing. So, like I said, with this hip hop community conversation, that's what it is, a conversation. So, if you don't mind, I'd like for us to get started with a prayer, if that's okay with you, for us to start off with a prayer.
Absolutely.
Okay, so any position that's comfortable for you to commune with the Creator, I invite you to get into that position. I also invite you to allow your eyes to gently close so you can focus on the God that's within you, the Creator within you, you. In the name of the Most High, known by many different attributes, us that is not with dispute. We know there's one power, one presence, one intelligence that governs the entire universe. It is the spirit of immortality within us, expressing itself through us, manifesting as a higher, infinite power, healing our people. Yes, we are hip hop. We are here right now to manifest that energy. We call forward the ancestors to guide our thoughts, words, and actions as we have this hip hop community conversation. It is true. We let it be, and there it is. Amen. Ashe. Word.
Amen. Yes, yes.
All right, so Miss Nesha Nycee, again, I love your energy, love your work. I've shared your work on my social media, so when the people see this, back then already some of them kind of familiar. I played the Real Humble video. I shared that with people up there, and they were loving that. So just give us a little background of who you are, where you're from, and how you became Nesha Nycee.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm originally from St. Louis, born in St. Louis, raised right here in Atlanta. So it is a mixture. I claim St. Lana. I always
St.
like to say
Lana.
St. Lana, it's a mixture. I can never forget the fact that St. Louis is in my blood, but Atlanta will always have my heart. I'm grateful for the city and the opportunities I ran to music because of my struggles and the different challenges that I faced growing up. I didn't understand what was going on. So music was an outlet. It was something I felt like I could communicate. It was a way for me to communicate my pain, so to speak. And that's how
Mhm.
I got started doing my music. I knew it was my passion and my purpose, from opening up for the legendary artists like Jazzy Faye to Lil Kim to the Brad. And I mean, being able to speak at schools and do high school tours where I'm giving back to the community. It's been a long road, but that's why I do it. I do it to inspire, and I'm really out here doing this to enlighten the people, my generation.
Definitely, definitely, and that's something that struck me with, your energy, your lyrics. Like I said, when we talked, I immediately, obviously, I meet a lot of different artists, and while everybody has their lane, I'm always, kind of gravitating towards artists that see themselves beyond entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Those that want to be a part of this
Mm-hmm.
this global hip hop community and are looking to find their lane. I believe that as one of the elders, that's one of our responsibilities to open up those lanes for you all. So when
Yes.
said I was checking out your music and checking out your message. Now let me ask you this: you are a young artist, a young lady, and the message that you have is not the typical message that we hear in a lot of young artists right now. So what made you kind of, strike that different path, as opposed to, kind of, doing what everybody else is doing, what the popular thing is, and what made you strike in a different path?
Well, you know, I have to be honest, looking up to the greats that came before me, from the Queen Latifahs to the Yo-Yos to the Lady of Rage to, you know, Salt and Pepper, looking at these females, Missy Elliott, the Brat, these females were fully clothed,
Mm,
speaking from their heart, talking about their communities, giving their perspective.
mm,
And me being different and always wanting to stand out, I remember looking at Left Eye and seeing these different
mm,
artists that were abstract, and knowing and having a conversation with the creator saying, wow, God, I know that I am perfectly made in the image, because look at this person, look at Missy,
mhm,
look at the Brat,
mhm.
look at, you know, Queen Latifah. They aren't
Right.
afraid to be strong women,
That's right.
and still, you know, get out here and get behind the mic and go toe to toe with the best of them. They don't have to compromise themselves to do what they love. So being able to look at my elders and different queens that came before me, that's always something that has gave me that confidence. Matter of fact, that confidence, so to
Mm,
speak. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
Because I just knew. I said, you know what? And although music has deviated with the imagery, and if we look at
Mm,
the females that are put on the pedestal now, obviously the industry has changed so much. But Rhapsody, Cyrock, you know what I mean, Nesha Nycee, we
mhm.
are not giving up. We have something to say, and we're gonna do it with our clothes on.
Dig that, dig that. And you know, you mentioned like, you know, Rhapsody and Cyrock and Boog. There's a bunch of sisters out there that have skills. You know, it's not even about female MCs in hip hop. It's about skills. And you know, sisters like you that
Mm-hmm.
skills. You know, we have to make sure that we again create those different kind of lanes. But let me ask you this: as a young woman, and you see the images, what are some of the conversations that are happening as far as making some changes in that? Or you know, what we often talk about is at least having a balance. You know, like I often tell people, imagine if Nesha Nycee had the same kind of as a or Megan Thee Stallion or something like that. You know, so what are those conversations just amongst women in general? How can you all help to bring, you know, some of that balance to what's going?
You know, we just have to just continuously keep up the consistency. You know, we cannot stray away from what we know the goal and the vision is. We have to
Mhm.
continuously support each other. You know what I'm
Or
saying? I got to make sure I let my peers be aware of, you know, the Cyrocks, the Rhapsodies, the Queens that are in that lane. I have to make
mhm.
sure I'm spreading the word, because,
Sure.
you know, that's how we're going to be able to enlighten each other about each other. You know, we have to bring that awareness. So it's a real old school way of doing so, but word of mouth, it still works. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Social
Sure
media is
did.
powerful. We have to make sure we're bringing that positive imagery on social media. You know, it's okay to be young and to be positive and to be cool, and you
That's
ain't got to
right.
be doing all this cursing, and you ain't got to be, you know, doing all this drinking and all. And you ain't got to do all of that. You know, I
Right.
understand
That's right.
everybody have the things that they do, but it's a certain way that you go about it. We don't always have to visually show that. So we just gotta uplift each other. And like I said, we have to continue to spread the word about each other, because believe it or not, word travels. And
It does. It
eventually
does.
it will come full circle. Eventually, you know, I understand my route is a lot longer than it would be for city girls because of what they talking about, how they dressed and the
Yeah.
message that they pushing out. I get it. I'm taking a longer route, but I'm willing to do that. Cyrock understands her route. She's
Right.
willing to
True.
do that,
True.
to put out her message. Rhapsody understands she's not going to resonate with everybody, but she still is pushing her message, King. So that's what it's about. It's about not giving up and continuously supporting each other to get the word out.
Yeah, and that's, you know, and that's really really positive to see y'all doing it, because again, we reconnected at the Sidewalk Show. I think I met you initially at the Nipsey Hussle tribute, and then we kind of reconnected
Yes.
at the Sidewalk show. And that's really important, that solidarity. We are in the middle of Hip Hop Appreciation Week 2020. The theme is vision. So, big up to
Yes.
you as a young artist catching on to that. And, some of the conversations that you and I have even gone, deeper beyond entertainment. You see behind me is the Hip Hop Declaration of Peace, the poster copy of the Hip Hop Declaration of Peace. And, we've been kind of chopping up about that as well. What are your thoughts about that document? I know you just kind of learned it, but just based on what you know about it, what are your thoughts about the Hip Hop Declaration of Peace?
Oh, wow. I mean, it is such a powerful document. The fact that something like that exists, and I just found out about it.
And you know what?
My
Hey, sis, believe me, there's people twice your age that have been in hip hop as long that don't know about it. So, as you said, the same thing, the word of mouth, getting it out. Sometimes it is a long route. So,
mm-hmm.
I didn't want to cut you off, but go ahead.
No, you're okay. Yeah, absolutely. So, just when you blessed me with the document, and I remember the first time looking through it and reading over it. I mean, the principles and the way it's worded, it spoke directly to my soul. I said, wait a minute, like you said, once this is something that you really memorize and learn and you embed in you, you'll walk different, you'll talk different. Now you have something else to offer. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
constantly making that my everyday goal to have that down and know it by heart, because I want to be able to speak from that document when I'm
Yeah,
having a conversation with my peers. So
sure
I
did.
just look at it as a extra tool for me to pull out of my
Mm-hmm.
toolbox, for me to
Mm-hmm.
sharpen my iron, for me to
Mm-hmm.
enlighten myself and
Yeah.
constantly feel powerful in hip hop and continue to pull the positivity out of this thing and get back to what it really was here for, get back to the core principles of what hip hop truly means. And that document allows me to be reassured of why I'm constantly fighting for peace in hip hop and doing what I'm doing. So I mean, King, it's just a blessing to, like I said, to now have discovered it.
Give thanks. And in that same energy, there's been a bunch of young people that have been exposed to it. But as you said, when you read it, something resonate within you already. And what we tell people is like hip hop culture is like every other culture. Sometimes people are called to it in different ways. But when you're called to it from a fullness and you see a document like that, even without knowing the document, something will resonate with your whole being because it connects to your divine purpose. You know what I'm saying? So, again, big up to you for, like I said, there are people that I know personally. I'm not gonna call no name. There are people I know personally that I've been teaching that doctrine for about 15, 17 years. And there are people that I can call out right now that I guarantee you probably know more about that document than they do. Because there's a
Wow.
that document is not a law, it's not a mandate, it's not a commandment. It's really there for advice and guidance. If you want to live a life,
Mm-hmm.
love, awareness, wealth, peace, and prosperity through hip hop culture. That's what it's for. Everybody doesn't want that. Everybody
Yes.
feels whatever way about it. But I'm always happy when a young person like yourself can get it because as I talk about the work that we're doing as the first generation of hip hop, I believe our part of our responsibility is to create paths for y'all where down the line hip hop can be its own sovereign entity. You know what I'm saying? Where we're not beholden to record companies and labels and things like that. We're calling the shots. We're not at that point now, but by the time you become a hip hop elder, we'll be at that point, you know what I'm saying, or beyond that point because of people.
Yes. Yes.
Because of people like you. So I really applaud you, again, on what you're doing. What are you working on now? What's kind of going on? How is this the COVID-19 really affected you as an artist? I know one of the things, of course, with the show is not going on, but how have you been maintaining and what have you been doing during the this pandemic?
Yeah, so honestly, King, a little bit before the COVID-19 really uh, took a hold of the community and the world, I was already sitting down and having a moment because I got into
Mm,
a serious accident February 7th.
mm.
So getting into that accident, and I'm grateful I made it out, and
Yeah,
you know, because it
yeah.
was near deadly,
Thanks.
you know. But so when that happened, I had already had a moment to sit in solitude, and I had already had stillness going
Mm,
before the whole world sat down.
word.
So I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, because so many things were coming up, festivals and different things when the accident happened. And I remember feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to participate in these things. My birthday is coming up. I'm not going to be able to do the things that I would normally be able to do. And I just remember praying about it and really searching deep within, and asking for more discernment. And now that I look back on that and relate it to COVID-19, the creator was already preparing me
Mm-hmm.
for the stillness to come.
Yes,
So
yes.
when the COVID came, I had already had this perfect peace that surpassed
Mm.
man's all understanding because
Come
of
on
the
now. Come
accident
on.
that I
I hear
had
you.
just went through. You see what I'm
Talk that
saying?
talk. Come
So,
on now. Give it to
huh?
him. Come
Huh?
on now. Come
So,
on now.
yeah, okay. So this was just another moment of clarity for me to continue to search deeper within, for me to constantly touch bases with my elders like yourself, and continue to soak up energy, constantly build up my toolbox, constantly stock up my treasure chest with different gems.
Mm.
So I have really taken this time to just get ahead in so many ways, whether that's, you know, with my artistry, with me making sure I'm writing every day, or
Mm-hmm.
if I'm making sure I'm, you know, communicating with different supporters every day, and just doing certain things that I may not have had time for when the world was moving around so, you know, busy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really been a blessing, King. You know, we got to be able to pull the positives out of everything. You know, I could look at it so many different ways. I could look at the control, I could look at the martial law, I could look at the new world, or I could look at all of that. But at the end of the day, really what I want to be able to look at is the best. I want to be able to look at all the positivity that's coming out of this.
Right,
You
right,
know,
and that's exactly the way that you should look at it, because you know what, when we talk about vision, you know what I'm saying, as you just said, in a beautiful, perfect lesson, the way that you see the world is the way that the world's going to be. So you know, I tell people right now, particularly what we're dealing with, people are operating either from faith or from fear. You know what I'm saying? If you have faith, then first of all, you know that the creator is still in control, so you ain't got to trip. You know what I'm saying? If you're rolling in fear, then you're all over the place. You kind of, you know, you're hearing this and with all this misinformation going on, and you know, some say this happened and 5G and all kind of craziness that,
mm-hmm.
you know, the blessing was that you had already learned to slow down before that happened. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real blessing. You know, you mentioned earlier about you talking to schools, to young people at school. What are some of the things that you some of the advice that you give the young people that are coming up behind you when you visit these schools and things of that nature? Because that's something else that struck me when you and I talk. Like I said, you're doing a lot of even though you're right now and a current artist, you have a spirit of what we would call true hip hop, people that are true to the ideals. Because to us, hip hop is supposed to be about service. It's supposed to be about charity. It's supposed to be about helping us to go from negative circumstances, you know, some of the negativity and trauma that we may have grown up with, to turn that into a positive circumstances for ourselves and to be able to share that. So when you're talking with the young people, what are some of the things that you share with them about your struggle to help them move forward?
Yes, honestly, I always, although I just spoke with you about the accident that happened in February, I got into a more severe accident in 2011, which
Mm,
I have this war wound from right here. I don't know if you can see this
yeah.
keloid here,
Okay.
but the front dash went into my chest, but
Right.
was T-bone 2011, 20 minutes, no pulse.
Whoa.
4 days unconscious, and it took me 9 months to rehabilitate. So I remember being so depressed
I did
and
not know
just
that. And like I said,
yeah,
conversation. I didn't know that, but I'm glad we're having this conversation. Go ahead.
yes, King. So and I had just because I graduated high school in 2011, and I
Mhm.
remember just feeling like, what's next? I just was so depressed. I didn't see myself coming from that. I needed help walking. It was very hard for me to walk. My tongue was swollen from all the medicines. I remember having a conversation with someone who I won't, disclose their name, but someone in my family. And I remember them saying, you got to get a plan B. What you think you're going to do music and you're going to do entertainment? All of that's gone now. This accident took all of that
Mm,
away from you. I
mm,
remember hearing that, and I
wow.
remember just being so depressed.
Mm,
And then I remember I had a conversation with my mom, and she said, baby, it's just a blessing you still here. I want to ask you something. What are you going to do different? And I really marinated on that. And when I prayed on it and I asked for discernment and I just really marinated on it, that's when I decided to take profanity out of my music. I said, because it's not serving the
mm,
purpose that I want to convey.
mm.
It's not. I talked about the drinking, I talked about the party, and I had already talked about that. Before I was 21, I was talking about that.
Wow. Okay.
So by the time 21 came, I was already on a different trajectory, King. So when I was going to these schools, when I go to these schools, I would speak from a place of, y'all, I just, came out of high school thinking nobody could tell me nothing. So if you have that attitude of where you know it all or nobody can tell you nothing, slow down. You got to
Mm-hmm.
slow down right now. You got to listen to your elders. You have to really make sure you're surrounded by the right people, the right energy. Always believe in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be optimistic. Set out your goals. So, just a number of many different things, but I would always start off with that story about the
Yeah.
accident in 2011 because you just never know.
Yeah.
You
That's
never
a powerful
know.
story too. That's a powerful story, and big up to you again being obedient. A number of times, like I believe, Spirit is always communicating to us. Whether it's to other people, whether it's to a song, whether it's to a movie, because Spirit is always moving. Spirit is omnipresent. Always here, evenly present. But a number of times, if we don't learn to activate our discernment. If we don't learn to really, even in the midst of the challenges, understand the blessings. You know what I'm saying? If we don't
Mm-hmm.
are able to develop an attitude of gratitude, even when, like I said, the challenges are coming strong. And for young people, particularly now, it's a lot of different distractions. So, for you, again, to be a young person doing that, big up to you for that, big up to the people that raised you, because that's a part of it as well. You know, uh,
Thank you.
big up to the community that helped you to grow. Big up to you being courageous enough that when you had that epiphany to be obedient, because one of the things for hip hop artists in general is a number of times people want to try to recreate you in an image and likeness that they want. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And with
Yes.
and with the women artists, it's even worse. You are a young, attractive young lady, so I'm sure you've had people try to whisper in your ear, you can do this, and oh, you can do that, and how do you maintain your own balance when you see again this long route, and what's your vision for yourself in the long run? Like, where do you see Nesha Nycee in the future?
Yes, absolutely. So just going back to the different queens that I was inspired by, I
Mm-hmm.
always like to look at myself, in the likes of a Queen Latifah. Obviously, it's only one Queen Latifah, but
Sure, sure.
I like to always shout her out because she was somebody she is somebody that's so well rounded. She didn't
Mm-hmm.
allow people to box her in. She said, you know what? I'm gonna step behind this mic. I'm gonna do this thing gracefully,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna ask y'all who you calling to be, and I'm gonna tell you to respect me as a queen, and then I'm gonna put on my executive producer hat. I'm gonna step behind these cameras. I'm gonna put together these productions. I'm gonna step in front of the screen.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna be the first lady of cosmetics
Okay. Yeah.
of the Revlon. So when I
Yeah.
look at that queen,
No
how
doubt.
she, I mean,
Great role model.
constantly
Great role model.
sets the bars. I mean, and she did it in such a respectable way. I don't know if you've heard that new K Slay, Queen Latifah and Bun B.
Yeah, I did definitely. And
Yeah,
also,
whoa,
also,
yes,
also,
King.
Queen Latifah on Rhapsody's album killed it. You know what I'm saying? The song with her
What?
killed it. Killed it.
You talking about this recent album?
The Eve album, Queen Latifah, she has a song on there called a chef suit, where it's Queen Latifah.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
what?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And she does with Queen so to have them two together, and then to have you coming down the line and Sarah coming down the line, I truly believe that the next wave in hip hop music will be the queens and the goddesses like y'all. I think that the world is ready for that, particularly after the situation that we're in now.
Absolutely.
We
Perfect timing.
Right, we understand that we need that feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? We need it in a number of different ways. Coming through hip hop music is most certainly the way that the whole world is really ready for that. So I'm glad to see that you're in alignment with that. Queen Latifah is an amazing role model to have. You know what I'm saying? And I can definitely see you doing the same things that she did in greater. I can most certainly
Wow.
doing those things. For sure.
Thank you, King.
Particularly as you already have a heart and passion for it. So, as you continue to grow and develop, and again, we create this world community for you to explore. As I said, in fact, I'm wearing the shirt now with the Trinity International. Big up to my
Yeah.
festival family out there. But there's a whole world. There's a whole big world out there that is beyond with any place where we're based. So what I'm talking to artists about is that whatever city that you may be based in, that's fine. But you have to begin to look at yourself as a global citizen. You know what I'm saying? If we learn anything through this COVID-19, is that we are connected, that we are one, and the world are connected. So while there always are going to be negative forces that are trying to distract us and divide us and things of that nature, the light will always come through. And I appreciate you being that type of light for your generation. And as I've told you before, off air, let me know how I can be of service to assist you, which is why I again wanted to have you on this community conversation, because there are a number of times my peers, they're turned off by what they hear in the mainstream music and rap music, particularly because they don't know about Nesha Nycee. You know what I'm saying? They don't know about it. So, anytime I run into an artist, particularly a young artist, that is, first of all, dope. Dope is the first criteria. You got to be dope.
Thank you.
That's the first criteria. Anybody that I recommend, they got to be dope. I don't do regular. I don't do, okay, that was okay. No, dope. And when I heard you, like, yo, Nesha's dope. You know what I'm saying? So immediately I wanted to share that with my peers, and I appreciate you taking time out. I know your family's here. I'm not keep you too long. I appreciate you taking time out to have this hip hop community conversation.
Yes, King.
The first of many. We got a lot of work to do. Happy Hip Hop Appreciation Week. You know what I'm saying?
Happy Hip Hop Appreciation Week.
For sure. So let the people know how they can stay in contact with you, and any closing remarks that you want to have.
Yes, absolutely. Always, I definitely want to send my love, peace, and respects to you, King, just for everything that you've done in your lifetime to make it easier to get the message of hip hop out, to convey a positive message when, you know, it's constantly being portrayed negative. And I just want to thank you for continuously putting your neck on the line to teach and give back to the community. It's greatly appreciated. I'm so grateful to know you, to be able to come under your wing, to learn from you. That's a blessing in itself. So I just want to send thanks to you for that.
No doubt, no doubt.
Also, to anybody, you know, that just is feeling like, you know, that they can't go on, or they may be discouraged, this is the time to really lock in and do that soul searching. This is the time to really lock into your faith. You don't have
Yes,
anything else to depend on.
that's right.
You
Tell me,
may have
man.
thought you could depend on that
Come on,
job.
man.
You
Come
may have
on,
thought
man.
you could depend on this and that, but you don't have anything else to depend on but your faith. And all you have to have is the faith of a mustard seed,
Come
okay? And
on
that's
now.
very
Come on
small.
now.
So
Come
just a
on
little
now.
bit of
Come on
faith,
now.
y'all, will carry you. It will carry you. So if I have anything to say, I definitely want to say, please tap into your faith. Okay, whoever you feel the creator is, just tap into that inner God. Bring it out of your. We all have that power. Let's tap into our power. Honestly, King, I would love to get you for a Crown Talk segment as well. You know, I've been doing my
Sure.
conversations. I would love to keep
Let
the
me know.
information flowing. And
Let me
honestly, if you're
know.
available this Tuesday coming up,
Okay, well,
this
let's talk
Tuesday
about it.
coming up,
Okay, well,
huh?
let's schedule that after this. We can definitely make that.
Okay, we'll talk about that offline. But you know, I was in the, I was excited, and
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah.
rolled off the
I'm with
tongue.
that.
But yeah, we'll talk about that offline. But yeah,
With
I
that.
have a single that's getting ready to drop. I have a single out right now. It's called
Hold on,
Struggle Made Us.
hold on. Go back though. Now, what is the Queen Talk? That's a podcast or something that you do?
Okay, so Crown Talk, it is
Crown Talk, excuse me, Crown Talk.
yeah, it is no, you're okay. It's a new Instagram. It's a new Instagram live series
Okay.
that I've been doing since the COVID has happened. Just really finding a way to communicate and have conversations with with my peers, with my elders, with certain people that are in the industry and certain people that are not. So we
Okay.
can have elevated, it's a place to have elevated conversations, you
Well,
know, so we
I
talk
would,
about, go ahead.
I would be honored. I'll be honored to be on that. Looking forward to talking with you about being on that. You know, like I said,
Yes,
you know,
yes,
always looking
King.
to connect, particularly with the younger generation, because here a number of times, um, again, our enemy has always tried to set up these generational gaps, try to keep us, you know, divide and conquer. But hip hop is the solution to all of that. You know, hip hop takes from the past, it uses in the present, and yet we build toward the future. So
Right.
I would love to, in whatever way that I can be a part of those conversations with you and your peers, whatever way I can be of service. I'm here to be of service to you all. You know, sure.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
So you were telling us about the music that you have and how people can stay in contact with you.
Okay. So, yeah, absolutely. I have a single out right now. It's called Struggle Made Us. And it just highlights the struggle, obviously. I mean, you know, even if you can't even relate with the struggle right now, everybody can relate to the struggle. So even if you were born with that silver spoon in your mouth, right now you are without something.
Believe that.
Okay, so everybody can relate to we are all on the same playing field. Okay, when the bank closed for everybody, it's closed for everybody. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So um definitely Struggle Made Us is out right now. So you can tap into that, you can listen to that. That's available on all platforms, produced by platinum selling producers Blessed and One Mind. And then I have a single coming out June 5th titled Another Day. And it really highlights the struggles that we go through daily. So it's piggybacking off of Struggle Made Us, because the music that I make, it's relatable
No
on
doubt.
all, you know, on all, in all areas. So
You know,
one day,
I was
go
telling
ahead, I'm
you,
listening.
I was telling you when I heard Real Humble, that immediately went to my minister service motivation music. You know what I'm saying? I have a list that when I hear something that I want to make sure that I'm keeping that energy. So I appreciate you making that type of music. Um,
Yes.
so can you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yeah, man. Just want to give y'all a little taste of that beat.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
want to go out and get that. You know what I'm saying? Again, Queen, appreciate, give people your social media contacts and stuff so they can stay in contact with you. Definitely for the people that are watching this, if you have any young ladies and you're concerned about the images that you see, this is a young lady that you need to make young ladies know about, and you need to spread the word. Again, our enemy stays busy 24/7 pumping out the nonsense to our youth. So we have to, at least at the very least, give them a balance. There's an African proverb that says, when you put a clean glass of water next to the dirty glass of water, the dirty glass of water condemns itself. So we don't have to try to clean one, but Nesha Nycee is a clean glass of water. So let's share that as well. So get your contacts, let them know how they can stay in contact with Miss Nesha Nycee. Say it twice.
Yes. Ha! Get into it. Thank you again, Minister Server. I appreciate you constantly serving the hip hop community like you do. Beautiful people, kings and queens. Y'all can follow me everywhere at Nesha Nycee. That's spelled NESHANYCEE. That is again NESHANYCEE. That's on Facebook. That's on Instagram. The YouTube is official Nesha Nycee. Every Sunday, I have been dropping freestyles over different classic hip hop, rap instrumentals that we're all familiar with. To get ready for my single Another Day that's dropping, that's going to highlight the struggle, the another day that we living in right now with the pandemic, with the quarantine. So y'all make sure y'all tap in, Nesha Nycee, www.neshanycee.com. Follow me, tap in, and always get into it.
No doubt, no doubt. So if it's okay with you, I'd like for us to end with a prayer like we started. What's
Absolutely.
up, fam? Yeah, so again, let us get this still right quick. In the name of the Most High, we thank you, Creator, for allowing us to be here. We thank our ancestors for creating this path that we're walking on earth. We thank you for the opportunity to have a hip-hop community conversation with our young sister, Nesha Nycee, knowing that she is a young leader that's creating a whole new path to magnify your light and to glorify your word. And we give thanks for that. May she arrive at the next destination as safe as she arrived at this one. It is true. We say, we let it be, and there it is. Amen. Ashe.
Amen. Yes.
Word, word, word.
Word.
Nice. We're going to say it twice. Appreciate you, sis. Again, we're going to chop it up about that crown talk, too. I'm definitely with that.
Yes. Absolutely, King.
Word.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
No doubt. Peace and love. Happy Hip Hop Appreciation Week 2020.
Happy Hip Hop Appreciation Week 2020. Let's go.
No doubt.
Peace.